Hi, my name is Ralph Migliozzi, and I'm a licensed real estate agent and a real estate broker in the state of California. In my past 35 years, I've gathered a lot of information on how to work with buyers and sellers in this industry, and I'm going to talk to you about the most important thing you should be looking at today if you're a buyer or a real estate agent in the real estate market today, and that is representation. Representation is the single most important thing that you should be looking for in buying a piece of property. And why I say that is that without good representation, you're not going to have a good experience. So, how do you pick a real estate agent in our industry? And do you go and look for an ad in the paper? The answer is no. An ad in the paper does not tell you anything about the experience of the person that you're going to be working with. And would you, if you had brain cancer, would you shop for a brain surgeon by looking at an ad? Or having a brain surgeon advertise a discount brain surgery or $1,000 off if you work with him? No, because you would not want to die on the table. And you have no idea whether through an ad, even with a discount, whether you're going to get the best surgery. So when you're looking for brain surgery, you basically talk to medical professionals and find out who does the best type of surgery for what you have. And it's through that referral process that you pick that person. Same thing in real estate. Or if you're going through a divorce, anything where you're going to have a major impact on your life, whatever you're talking about, you don't want to have a catastrophic event happen in those particular areas, whether it's estate planning, whether it's a divorce, whether it's a real estate transaction. These are all potential six-figure catastrophic issues that could pop up if something goes wrong. So what you do is you talk to real estate professionals to pick a real estate agent and a loan agent. Same thing. You're going to talk to somebody in the industry, whether it's an escrow officer, a listing agent, or a buyer's agent, to find out who does the best transactions in your industry. No question about it. So without that type of referral, you have no idea what type of representation you're going to get. Now, from a standpoint of a real estate agent, what is the most important part of the representation? Is it filling up the contract? Is it making sure there's no mistakes? What are we talking about? And the number one thing that you should be looking for in representation is negotiation. And that means that the person you're working with is negotiating the best deal in the transaction. And so, and from the standpoint of negotiation, you're going to be wanting to work with a person who primarily works with buyers. Now, I know many agents work with both. Many people do buyer's agents and other people list property, but you absolutely don't want to work with somebody who's just a lister. And the reason for that is listing agents primarily are not negotiators. They're generally just listing houses by sellers and telling them what the price is going to be, and then waiting for the house to sell. They write very few sales contracts. And generally are not used to negotiating because they're not representing buyers and writing offers to listing agents. So you certainly would not want somebody who's primarily a listing agent. And I recommend that you find somebody who says, hey, I'm primarily a buyer's agent. That's really the person that you want to be working with. And the only way to do that is to interview them. When you talk to them, ask them if they're primarily listing agents or buyer's agents, and ask them how long they've been in the industry and how many houses possibly have they sold. All of those things are important in picking representation and to make sure that you're getting the best representation available. Now, in our particular program, our offer situation and what we're asking people to do is fairly sophisticated. And so you're going to need a good buyer's agent to work out the type of offers we're asking you to make, because you have to make a sophisticated offer in this market in order to get your offer recognized. And so you're going to want somebody who understands the complexities of the offers that you're going to be making in what we're recommending as the offering that you make. So representation is also important from the standpoint of lending. And so we certainly want to represent you as the lender because that's what we do in the state of California. And so, and that representation combined with the experience of your agent is going to get your deal accepted, even if your offer is a little weaker than other people. Because basically what we do is we negotiate. Negotiation is also the number one thing in a lending transaction that gets you through the transaction safely and unharmed. What do we mean by that? So, with standpoint of negotiation, we're going to be writing you a pre-approval letter. The standard pre-approval letter is frankly boring. Everyone writes the same pre-approval letter. This buyer, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, have been pre-qualified or pre-approved to buy a particular property with a certain down payment. We verified their job history, their credit, their source of funds. Please feel free to call if you have questions. Boring and not going to impress the listing agent. So from the standpoint of what we do, we're trying to negotiate with your pre-approval letter. What our pre-approval letter does is gets permission from you to put all types of personal and financial information in that letter. So our letter is going to say something like, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer have been pre-approved to buy a property with so much down at this sales price, and we have verified their job history, how long they've been on the job. Mr. Borrower has been 10 years with PG&E and is a white-collar professional in his field. His income is in the top 10 percentile of the people of the United States, and his FICO scores are 780, 667, 780, 777, and 797. And he is very qualified to buy. And then we'd go on with some details about Mrs. and what she particularly does and what her FICO scores are, and make recommendations about what the ratios even are on the income. The ratios are important for an agent to know because they want to know that the income ratios for qualifying for a loan are not going to be close, that you have plenty of room, and that you're not stretching this pre-approval. All that is put into the pre-approval letter that we write for you, which allows us to negotiate a better deal. And that offer is going to be paid attention to more than other offers in the transaction. So the negotiation power of both the lender and the real estate agent both give you a much better probability of having your offer accepted in this particular market. And if you want more information about how negotiation works, please go to our website, and you can go ahead and get that free guide. It's called Essential Homebuyer's Guide. It's a 22-page guide, and all of the things that we do and what we ask you to do when you're making an offer in order to get your offer accepted, what type of loan product we're using. We're certainly not going to disclose that here, but we do in our Homebuyer's Guide, which will give you a big advantage in negotiation with your offer. Thanks for listening, and go to our website and order a lot of our free products, including my book. The website is www.rc-advantage.com. And thanks for listening.